I write my own stories. I do my own makeup. Erin with News on 6, my own clothes. If it looks bad, well, everything that you see in a day that I'm doing is usually me. I review our scripts, I do some edit, and then you gotta get your contacts, send those emails, and you try to condense it down in the most digestible way possible, and then get out there on the set. Okay, so I get up on a Monday morning during the week, probably about 7 a.m. But that means I kind of have a crunch time where by 10 or 11 o'clock, I really need to know what I'm working on, and I need to have a lot of my ducks in a row to start the process of getting my story ready for the 5 and the 6. So that's really what I'm doing right now, is making those phone calls. Hi, this is Erin with News on 6 out of Tulsa, digging into the research. Right now, specifically, I'm looking at a complaint made in federal court. So I'm looking through a court document. It's 68 pages. I usually read all 68 pages. After that, I try to call all parties, contact everyone involved. So right now, I'm contacting city officials, I'm contacting the plaintiffs, I'm contacting the defendants, I'm contacting attorneys, everyone involved in this case, to at least give them an opportunity to speak to us. And then moving forward, I'll take some key highlights from the complaint and we'll piece them together for the story tonight to give people an overview of what's going on with this particular complaint. That's kind of what I'm doing. I write my own stories, I do my own makeup, I pick my own clothes. Everything that you see in a day that I'm doing is usually me. So I'm reaching out to some of the people listed in this court document. One of the ways we reach out to people these days is through social media. I found this individual's social media account. I've sent them a message on social media to see if they'd like to speak to us or if they'd like to give us a statement. Usually, this is how you can try and get somebody's phone number or get more information about them if they respond to you here, but we also try other avenues. It's just, we try to get a hold of people in as many ways as possible. It's interesting, I think they've deleted their, you know what I mean? So one of the guys listed in this complaint is supposedly at one point was the CEO of this organization, and it looks like they've let their website expire. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, in a suburb called Clear Lake. I grew up there my whole life. I went to the University of Kansas for college. That's when I first kind of went away from home. My whole life, I'd kind of been interested in TV, theater, journalism. I watched the news a lot as a kid, which I think is not normal. I was just 24 hours a day, cable news, just all the time. At first, I kind of thought I wanted to be an attorney. So when I went to college, I went to be pre-law. And so I was going to do communications and political science. I looked at going into journalism school, but I actually missed the window and I was gonna have to go an extra semester because I had one math class that I hadn't taken to qualify to apply. And so my parents said, no way. I ended up getting a poli-sci degree and a minor in communications and was studying for my LSAT when all of a sudden I had just like a crisis. And I had a class, a communications class, that told us we had to write a letter to someone in our career field of choice and interview them. And so I wrote a letter to a girl in Kansas City, and she worked at Fox 4, WDAF in Kansas City, and she was the weekend anchor. And she said, I think you could do this. I think this is something you could do. And at the time, I had no idea. I did not think that that was the path for me. I really didn't think that, because I hadn't gone to J school and because I don't know, I thought somebody had to give you permission to go into television. And I guess she was the one who gave me permission. And I quickly went from an MMJ to an anchor, had a little bit of a blooper there, went viral, first time and hopefully last time going viral.
I'm so pale.
You're on it.
Today's snow is crippling much of the Washington lowlands.
And I applied to a station in Tulsa because one of my former coworkers had come to Tulsa and worked here and said, man, you're really gonna love it. I really wanted to know what my life would look like outside of TV with holidays and 5 p.m. dinners with my family, things like that. I wanted to know what that was like, and I did it for a few years. I stayed here in Tulsa. I worked for a local architecture firm and really enjoyed that. But there's something about journalism and storytelling that doesn't really leave your blood. And so I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop talking about it. I'm sure people found me insufferable because I couldn't stop talking about it. I'm not originally from Oklahoma. I had no thoughts of living here full time after I started my job here in Tulsa in 2014 until it like crept up on me. It was like a slow boil. It was like I had all these opportunities to go other places. And every time somewhere else was pulling me, there was something here that was keeping me here, whether it was a new job opportunity or another promotion, or I wasn't just quite ready to leave yet. And I really loved my life here. I met my husband here, he's from here. I just decided, you know what, this is home and this is always gonna be home. And so I'm just happy to be here. And for those who don't necessarily like Oklahoma or don't wanna give Tulsa or the state a chance, as somebody who is from Texas, that's a rivalry. I think you should give it a shot, because I did not think this would be a place that I would live and call home and miss when I leave. And I love this place and I love the people here. When we're out in the community telling people stories and covering things like breaking news, especially when you've lived here for a really long time, all of a sudden your circle gets really small, and the breaking news isn't just this event that's happening out in the world somewhere and you're covering it and you're immune to all of the things that you're seeing and hearing. It turns into something that's really close to home sometimes. And we're telling stories of people who it's the worst day of their life. And that's serious. We're telling the stories of people who have lost everything, and that's serious. The death of a loved one, that's very serious. These are all things that, when I come back to the newsroom with the sound, with the interviews, with, the information, and there's a lot of pressure when I put that together, that this is going to do that person and that family justice, or that topic justice. And I think that's something that I take very seriously, and I know a lot of people do here. I think we all know that that is something that, not everybody gets to do, and we get to do it, so we better do it right.